Hello everyone, Fel Arias here, and welcome to another review of the Circe the epic animatics, the Circe Saga. We are going to start with Puppeteer by Smulio, and there's just so much to nerd out about this one because Smulio just has such an amazing understanding of anatomy and backgrounds and just scene composition. So we're gonna get started. Oh, even their feet are really good. Got our buzz cut. Oh. So again, I'm going to keep mentioning this until we're past the Underworld Saga, but we've got what is likely Polites' headband here on Odysseus's arm. At least I'm guessing what that is. And I do like the fact that Smulio does put in the joint and the angles. Like, these areas would usually be shaded and you wouldn't actually see them this defined, but they have instead done a little bit of opacity and thinner lines to designate these areas. Like around the back of Odysseus's knees and up his heel towards his Achilles.
Captain, I have something that I must confess.
So for those of you who watched Epic, you know what Eurylochus is trying to confess here. Now, there is the issue where I believe they do not do the rule of threes, unfortunately, because the next time we get this Eurylochus needs to talk to Odysseus isn't until he's actually confessing. So, spoiler warning, this video is going to be full of spoilers. So for those of you who don't know, Eurylochus is the one that opened the windbag. Why was Eurylochus the one that opened the windbag? I have absolutely no idea. Does it serve any plot purposes? Absolutely not. Does it have a point? Absolutely not. Is it possibly a mirror to Odysseus's selfishness and unwillingness to apologize? Maybe. It might be that, but again, we get him trying to do it here, and then we get it when he confesses. I wish, between now and the Thunder Saga, when he confesses it during the opening to Scylla, I wish we would have gotten him trying to talk to Odysseus one more time and still being shut down. I think that would have helped, play this up a bit more and kept it in everybody's minds. I also want to note that, most Western animation that uses more humanoid proportions, more realistic proportions, they still usually put the eye line higher than it usually would be. But we get Eurylochus all sad and worried and everything, and we do have a wonderful, shot here because I also want to highlight something else that is being done. We have Odysseus out of focus. Like this is an actual picture, sort of out of focus. And here I'm going to highlight something else that I don't believe I've talked about yet. Again, in a lot of animation, shorthand for finishing hands is you'll combine two of the knuckles on the hand. So people have three knuckles normally, 1, 2, 3. But artists and stuff will either get rid of that top knuckle or get rid of the middle knuckle to make the movement look smoother. Because when you're with your hands, usually they're curved at an angle, or sorry, I'm just for examples, they're almost always that last knuckle, unless you're making a fist, it's kind of negligible to actually emphasize it. That's just something that you probably haven't noticed ever, and now you won't be able to stop noticing it now that I've mentioned it. But yeah, animation's fun.
Make sure this island is secure. But Captain, there's only so much left we can
I love just how exhausted and tired Odysseus looks. Oh. And again, we get like lovely, lovely lines emphasizing certain muscles and directions.
Eurylochus, back so soon. Where's the rest of your crew? And by the gods, what happened to you?
We came across a palace. Inside we heard a voice. It seemed to show no malice. To greet it
Was it your choice or was it everybody else's choice? Because if I remember, you wait outside.
But nothing could prepare us for the power that awaited inside.
What did this palace hide?
Sir, since we left home, we faced a variety of foes from a wide range of places. Gods, monsters, you know the roster. Hostile creatures that we could resist. But this was a hell of a twist, cause we are weak to a power like this.
What was it?
And this is great because it's bringing emphasis to what he says in the animation by making a drastic change to the animation by increasing the shadow density. And this is done by quite a few comic book artists. I believe one that does Hellboy actually uses this style a lot. And then again, to like draw emphasis onto how ridiculous this sounded, we get this wonderful, this wonderful ridiculous picture of Odysseus for What the Musical. I love how many times they say what and no. It's just so silly. It's so silly.
She had us in just 2 words.
She'd have me too, honestly. I mean, look at her. Look at her. She's gorgeous. As you can see, they have an incredible grasp on arrangement and framing for everything they're doing. And the backgrounds look so detailed, even with how simple they are. Because Smulio, like Neil Illustrator, just goes hard. Just, it's so good. But yeah, so Eurylochus waits outside. You know, I'm pretty sure when Odysseus told Eurylochus to grab some of the men and go scouting, Eurylochus was supposed to be leading the men. Why did he let them go in here? Why did he wait outside and let the men he's in charge of go in somewhere where he isn't sure and thinks might be dangerous? I mean, he didn't even try to stop them. It's just ridiculous on Eurylochus's part. There we go. Oh, just look at the details of the pond and the chairs.
Something to eat. I bet you're tired from the years spent on your feet. I've got you. Don't worry, Circe's got you now.
By the time they ate, it was far too late. For inside the meal,
Think of your past.
she had cast a spell.
And your mistakes.
They began to squeal
They'll be the last.
and grow snouts and tails.
Mistakes you'll make.
She changed them.
I've got all the power, yeah. I've got all the power now.
I will say this, one of the reasons why I picked Smulio's out of everybody else's is this transformation scene, because they actually made it look painful, and one of the men tries to attack Circe when he realizes what's going on. And it's just, Circe knows that Eurylochus is still outside. She knows that he could go and possibly get, like, help and stuff. So it makes no sense why she didn't also go after him if she knew he was there.
Would you choose to leave?
I don't know.
And we're just back in, like, the background details, people cleaning, like, the nymphs cleaning up the mess the men made, like, cleaning off the table and enjoying the pond again.
Power, yeah. I've got all the power. No, I'm not a player, I'm a puppeteer. No, I don't play, I'm puppeteer.
She's a clever witch,
This is the price.
and she's hard to slay.
We paid it all.
It's a game of wits,
We draw the line.
but you don't have to play.
Watch from above.
I have to try.
I've got all the power, yeah. I've got all the power. No, I'm not a player, I'm a puppeteer. No, I don't play, I'm puppeteer, yeah.
And that was Puppeteer. And next, I believe, is Wouldn't You Like? please go check out Smulio and their work. I can't wait to see what other animatics they might be working on. Well, rough animation. Animatics are basically just a storyboard put to timing, but these are full on rough animations. And this is Wouldn't You Like by, I'm gonna try to pronounce this as best I can. Larita Miao. And I mainly picked this one because Hermes has like the coat Troy has. Troy, the singer that does Hermes' singing voice. Also, those mouth movements were spot on.
You'll need the blessing of a certain god, divine intervention, someone who's not afraid to.
He's just so adorable.
Hermes? Wouldn't you like a taste of the power?
And of course, as a god, he's got sunglasses.
Deep in the night, the fight lasts for hours. You can be hurt or you can beat her. Wouldn't you like to have some of the magic? Wouldn't you like your outcome preferred? Deep in the night, the fight can be tragic. I'll help you conquer her. She can turn you to an animal that'll end up on her plate. She can all but make you fall in love like you're on your 100th
Now it seems, from what I've heard, some people and reactors have been wondering why it's on the 100th date. And I just gotta say, if you went out with them 100 times, you're probably in love. Like, you don't go out with a person for 100th time unless you care about them a lot and have like a strong relationship with them. So it's basically skipping past the going steady phase and going straight into the living together kind of phase.
She can conjure up a monster that'll grind you to the bone.
Also, for those of you who don't know, Circe does not conjure monsters in the actual stories or mythology. I believe Jorge just wanted to have a Pokemon battle, which is why they summon monsters in this version, when really there's nothing like that. And this happens a couple of times where Jorge definitely has an idea or something, and it is incredibly weird and doesn't always work, because it honestly feels a bit strange to have these summoned monsters when Circe has her own magic she could wield against Odysseus.
She has all the ways to hurt ya when you take her on a love. Wouldn't you like a taste of the power? Wouldn't you like to use more than words? Deep in the night, the fight lasts for
Oh,
hours.
little
You
chibi
can be
Hermes.
hurt or you've beaten your opponent. And I call this route holy.
And for those of you who don't know, it's actually pronounced Molly. But the joke Holy Moly is based on the fact that it's called Molly and people still mistakenly pronounce it as Moly. But Holy Moly has absolutely nothing to do with marijuana, which I've seen some people reference when they're reviewing these videos. It actually dates back to when people would say like Holy Moses or Holy Mary. It's basically like saying oh crap instead of oh shit. Or oh my gosh instead of oh my god. That is why Holy Moly was how it got into our vernacular, is because it was in place of, cursing, or I guess taking religious figures' names in vain. I found that out a little while ago, because I actually was curious what Holy Moly was and where the phrase came from. So yeah.
Wouldn't you like a taste of the power? Wouldn't you like to use more than words? Hermes, thank you. Don't thank me, friend. You very well may die. Good luck.
I do love how Hermes is like, yeah, I'm giving you something to help out, but don't thank me because it's up to you to actually be successful, my man. Which is really nice. It is also interesting that it does make Odysseus, I believe, immune to Circe's magic and stuff, and gives him the ability to fight her, but it is only temporary. So in the actual story, he like bum rushes her as soon as he gets in there and basically threatens her unless she promises to reinstate like a Xenia and that she is going to give them proper Xenia and change his men back and stuff. And he has to get these promises while he still has this power, or she will fuck him up. So it's kind of interesting that this went in the way of, oh hey, we're going to have a Pokemon battle, and then Circe's going to be absolutely powerless after it. What? But yeah, so that is Wouldn't You Like. The next is by Annie Flamma, and it is Done For.
Wouldn't you like to have some of the magic? Wouldn't you like your...
Now, there aren't many fully completed animatics for Done For that I know of. Annie Flamma's is one of the most well-known, and honestly, I actually found this animatic, this rough animation, honestly, I found this rough animation long before I even knew what Epic the Musical even was. Oh, I do want to highlight the cute little pig here because unfortunately, I did not choose Annie Flamma's There Are Other Ways of Persuasion. I chose Gigi's, so we're not going to see this cute little pig in this nymph's arms. But it turns out that this pig is one of the men, and if you want to see something cute and kind of funny, and topless Circe with no nipples, go to Annie Flamma's There Are Other Ways of Persuasion. In that Other Ways of Persuasion, Circe actually has to take this piggy from this little nymph girl, and the little nymph girl starts to cry, if I remember right. It's so sad, but adorable.
Lady of the palace, sorry that I asked this, but I hope that I've been misinformed.
Hear me. All I did was reveal their true form.
You turn them into pigs.
I don't know who you are nor why you're here.
I'm just going to highlight the fact that this line makes absolutely no sense to me. Well, the I don't know who you are makes sense. Why you're here, I'm pretty sure Circe is smart enough to add 1 and 1 to 2. I mean, she's not 600 men of Odysseus's crew. She can probably do math. She knows she let Eurylochus go. She knows that this guy is searching for his men. So it's kind of obvious why Odysseus is there. I mean, unless she's like, I don't know why you and your men are here, which she could have just asked, well, why are you here? What's going on? Instead, she skips right to threats and stuff, which, I mean, I don't blame her. These strangers roll up and just start eating you out of house and home. It's interesting because I believe in the book, they don't actually turn into pigs until they've overdone it. There's a little bit of magic in like the wine and the food, but until like the magic reaches a threshold, they don't start turning into pigs. So already it was breaking Xenia that Circe put magic in the food, but at the same time, if the men hadn't broken it by like overindulging, they also wouldn't have turned into pigs. So it's kind of who's really at fault here?
But let me make this one thing clear. I've got people to protect. Nymphs that come
Oh, and I love this
so I'm
transition
not
right
taking
here.
chances, dear.
Oh,
If you
she's
make
gorgeous.
one wrong move, then you're done for. Anything
I love the,
don't
like,
approve, then you're done for.
sea-
I've been put a
sea
spell on
ears,
you,
the
and you're done
fins.
for. Boy, you better run, or soon you will be done for.
I don't mean to tip your scale, but you will fail at placing any spells on me. I just ate a flower, one that claims your power. So you better cower now and flee.
You must be a liar, mortals can't acquire merely without dire consequence.
Then I must be a god like you, cause I got this root from the ground with my bare hands.
Hermes gave it to you, didn't he?
Okay, fine, yes.
I love how he's just like, yes, yes, he did. Because Circe immediately calls his bullshit out. It's so interesting. But, oh, again, here's an example of where they got rid of the middle knuckle instead, because they're like reaching. So only like those first knuckles, and this is kind of smooth until that one bend. So here's an example of the middle knuckle being removed in the drawing hands shorthand.
You and I are now evenly matched. Our fates are intertwined, they're attached. I've got people to protect.
Let's start this Pokemon battle.
So now there is no turning back. You've made your one wrong move.
My question is, why is Odysseus's Cyclops? Odysseus knows so many monsters and about so many monsters. Why would he choose a Cyclops? You know, something that ever since he fucked up has caused him nothing but pain, suffering, and the deaths of over 500 men? I don't know why he picks a Cyclops. I think that's what they did in the live stream as well. I haven't really watched much of the live streams other than the windbag jetpack, and I burden every single person I know with watching the windbag jetpack. Like, not all of it, thank God. But I definitely make everybody I know watch the CGI for that. Every time I watch it, it feels like I'm back in the early 2000s, late 90s in my computer graphics class in high school. The effects and stuff were really well done, and likely they had to get it done in a short amount of time. And honestly, the windbag jetpack idea is still fucking ridiculous. It is absolutely ridiculous. No matter how anime you want to take this, you have to put a limit on it. Levels of disbelief. There's only so much that we can disbelieve in a single story. Now the Pokemon battle, I don't really have a problem with it. I honestly don't. I just wish that Odysseus picked something other than a Cyclops. Like something more interesting that doesn't show up any other time. Since he is very researched and a very intellectual man, so he knows his shit. And also, I'm not sure if a Cyclops would be able to beat a Chimera. I need to look at their stats for D&D 5e and see what's up.
I will be the one to prove that you're done for. Not even a spell saves you, cause you're done for. Oh, you better run, or soon you will be done for. You've lost.
My nymphs are like my daughters, I protect them at all costs. The last time we let strangers live, we faced a heavy loss.
Okay, the one big problem I have with this song. Why does a woman need a reason to be bad? Why does it always come down to, oh, we were hurt by somebody? Women can just be evil too. It is possible. She could care about her nymphs and such, but with how powerful she is, how would this have happened in the first place? How would they even get away with this in the first place? They wouldn't have. So it's so unbelievable that this would even happen. Just let Circe be evil a little bit. Just let her hate men for no reason. I mean, there are plenty of reasons, but you don't have to make it like personal or leave it incredibly implicated like this as to what happened. It's very likely very unintentional sexism. It just kind of is. And I think that's what happens with Athena too. It's why Athena, the goddess of war, for some reason becomes incredibly warm and maternal and wants peace and empathy out of fucking nowhere. She's the fucking goddess of war. The hell is she thinking? That immortal might be right and she was wrong? No, she's a god. She'd never think anything like that. She would never think she was wrong. And it's just the matter of, oh, hey, women need to be maternal and loving and all of this bullshit. And yes, I know it's very, very likely unintentional. It still feels like subtle hints of sexism. It just does.
Colors are revealed in acts of lust.
I'm not sure.
Okay, I'm going to skip over to the next song now because one thing Annie Flamma does is starts the next song at right after this one. So in this animatic, I'm going to skip over to the next song, which is, again, the artist for the next song is Gigi. Again, if you want to see a topless Circe with no nipples, go ahead and go watch both of like this animatic by Annie Flamma, and I believe at the end of this animatic, there is a link directly to other ways of persuasion that Annie Flamma also did. But I chose Gigi's because, oh my goodness, Circe's hair in Gigi's. Yes, very spicy connotations.
There are other ways of persuasion. There are other modes of control.
And again, we get Polites' headband on Odysseus.
There are other roads to the soul. There are other actions of passion. You have so much left.
Just that hair.
Want to save your men from the fire. Show me that you're willing to burn.
And I want to highlight how well Gigi does multiple timing layers at this point, because we've got the main background, but we also have Odysseus, and then we have Circe, as well as we have the foreground and these falling leaves. So this is like multiple layers that are all likely on different timing in order to get this to flow so beautifully. And also this is just a wonderful shot of like foreshortening and just going straight to like the elbow placement. And she's like stalking him like a predator. It's great.
There's so much power, but there's no puppets here.
This is the price
I'm
we pay
just
love.
on
There is no line,
I'm
never
just
enough.
on
So much power, but there's no puppet here.
Okay, this is one change I absolutely adore in this musical. Because again, modern sensibilities might not always agree with old school morality. So for the Circe Saga, with Circe trying to seduce him specifically for him to let his guard down so she can kill him, another way for her to actually basically prove, oh hey, yeah, you are a dirtbag and you're gonna die, sort of thing. Where in the actual story, she does promise all the things that Odysseus makes her, and then they kind of fuck for 3 days straight. Yeah, that just happened. Also, Odysseus doesn't know how to count. It's proven in this song because it's only been, again, little over 10 years, not 12. And I didn't know this initially, but apparently every day on Circe's island, a year passes for the rest of the world, which is weird. But that's one of the reasons why when we get to the Thunderbringer saga, well, when we get to the Thunder saga, Thunderbringer's the last song of it, when we get to it, it makes far more sense why it's been 20 years that he's been gone. Because he was at Circe's island for 3 days, so that's 3 years. And then he's captured with Calypso for 7 years. Everything else is probably just weeks or months in between. So all of his men die within, I'd say, 6 months, probably less of them leaving the war. which is unfortunate. Some of them die sooner than others, but I don't know which way would be a better way to die, being vaporized by lightning or drowned. Probably vaporized by lightning. Because it would be probably quicker. Probably more painful for a split second, but it would probably be quicker. Anyways, back to Circe. And another thing I love is that Odysseus is being humble for the very first time. He is being humble. Why did it take this long? But I do like that Circe sees his honesty and his openness and everything in these upcoming moments.
Back at home, my wife awaits for me. She's my everything.
Oh, and just these hands. Again, if you're like doing a gesture like this, there's no need to do any knuckles in the drawing at all because you don't actually see the bend.
And she's all my power, but it's been 12 long years, oh, 12 long years since I have seen my wife, and now the god of tides is out to end my life. So I beg you, Circe, grant us mercy and let us puppets leave.
And again, this is one of the reasons why I love this animatic and why I think this change works with modern morality, because a lot of people would think Odysseus sleeping with Circe would be cheating on his wife, when in ancient Greece that wasn't exactly how things worked. So ancient Greece was weird, y'all. It's very interesting how this is one of the few changes that does work, because having Odysseus be humble for the first time and having him see it work is quite amazing. But it never happens again, sadly. Well, I mean, he is humble again, but that's more begging for his life and everything than actually being humble. So there's an argument to be made there about whether it's honestly being humble or not. Again, Gigi and the hands and how much Gigi's style has refined over the different animatics. It is amazing. And just the way she wraps up her hair right here. Yep. Oh, it's so gorgeous. Okay, I want to highlight it because I don't want to pause on it, but the way it transitions when she says, "But that prophet is dead." The color change and the entire transition and everything Gigi does is so very good. I don't think I've seen very many ways of persuasion with such they do have interesting ways of showing it, but with such an intense foreboding about it.
I know of a brilliant prophet. Problem is this prophet is dead. I can't get you home, but I'll get you to the
I want to see Gigi's like No Longer You whenever it comes out. I can't wait.
I'll release your men and I'll get you to the underworld.
Mainly because the prophet is kind of hot looking. Even though I know in the original story he's an old man.
There are many ways of persuasion. I have been in love once before.
Oh, they're so cute! Okay, I also want to highlight the fact that Gigi has a little hint to Elpenor up there on the roof with drink in hand. Cause there's one of Odysseus's men that die at Circe's house because he got drunk and he fell off the roof. I know it's supposed to be incredibly sad, but compared to how everybody else dies, it's just hilarious. Considering out of basically all of Odysseus's men, that is the only one that finds proper resting and burial rites. None of the others do. So yeah. Ugh. I also do love the reuse of characters and character designs. I don't know who this guy missing an eye is, but we've seen him in multiples of Gigi's animatics so far, and we even see, like, in future animatics, a past look at him when he's all bandaged and everything. So just want to highlight character design, just perspective of this angle. It's a very good shot. And I also want to remind everybody before we get to the next scene that Eurylochus wanted to leave these men to die. Eurylochus did get Odysseus to tell Odysseus, but he's not the one that convinced Odysseus to help. That was just Odysseus being Odysseus. I'm a little confused about this next scene. Oh, they're adorable. That scene right there, when they jump and hug Eurylochus. What? He was going to leave them to die. He literally abandoned them. As their leader, he abandoned them. The fuck? To you. All right, that is the Circe Saga. Oh, so much beautiful artwork. Again, please go check out the actual animators and artists and go support Jorge and the actual Epic the Musical. No matter my gripes or other problems with anything, I still absolutely adore this concept album. And I can't wait for maybe a more refined version with possibly some expert critiques or suggestions taken into account. Also, I wanted to highlight the little sketch that Gigi has done down here of Odysseus crying about Penelope, all chibi, and Circe being like, "Oh, I'm so tired of this." I hope you all have a wonderful day. Thank you for joining me. I will probably have the next video up on Patreon for free members. Again, there is no paid membership to my Patreon yet. I don't really have enough content to justify it. So you do still have to be a free member in order to see stuff early. But I am trying to keep up with putting stuff up early. There's a very good likelihood that if you're watching this video on the day it releases on YouTube, that my review of the Underworld songs are also for members, for free members on my Patreon. So go and check that out. Bye-bye.